know the vibes. 200 times this year, you've heard me say that. Wow. The vibes must be very well known by now. If you're new
what you
here
got for me today, but what you got?
What you got for me today, but what you got? Stay tuned. Well, it's episode 200, BJ.
Hey, I don't know if to say congrats, because you know what? I'm ready to go to 201.
I'm ready to go to 300 and 400. I'm ready to go to 1,000.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
It's crazy though. The consistency has been wild, because that's the whole grind of doing this every day, making sure that we have at least an hour or two in our day free to do this with your busy schedule, my busy schedule. And when I see the responses from the listeners on social media or in the reviews on Apple Podcasts, it makes it all worth it. It makes it all.
All I can say is thank you. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir.
That's all I can say is thank you.
Thank you to the people.
Hey, this is what we do.
Absolutely. Well, it's episode 200. We were thinking we were going to get guests. We were thinking we were going to do this, we're going to do that. But I thought, what better way to celebrate than giving the people what they want? I know a while back, some of you tweeted us some questions we didn't get a chance to answer. So we're going to answer them for you right about now. But before we do that, if you listened to yesterday's episode, you'd have heard BJ mention a story that he's going to tell for us about the film.
That's what I was.
I said the film never lies, and BJ said sometimes it does. And I want to know what the funny story you have about that is.
Oh, I remember. Okay, I do remember it. I remember that. Good friend of mine. Great player. I hope he doesn't mind me telling the story. So after the first quarter goes by, this is really funny. It still makes me laugh to this day.
Okay.
And I'm picking this guy up full court. So we're building our pressure during the course of the game. So right around the second quarter, this player is Rod Strickland, right? So I'm picking up Rod Strickland. Now, if anyone who's followed the NBA, Rod Strickland was one of the premier ball handlers in any era.
Oh, he had the ball on a string.
Yeah, Rod is terrific. Rod and I graduated high school together, and we were friends for many years. Get a chance to play against Rod.
Go check his highlights on YouTube if you don't know.
Rod, he's great.
You got to.
So Rod. So I know we're playing on a back-to-back, and Rod is coming off of a game. So I'm going to extend my pressure to try to, make him utilize more energy. Hopefully he'll wear down a little bit, and in the second half, we'll have an advantage, and we'll make our run. And Rod, out of nowhere, he goes, "Hey B, let's make this look good for the film." so normally I don't talk. I didn't talk to a lot, but he intrigued me. I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "When you pick me up full court, I'm just going to let you cut me off so we can make it look good for the film. So that way."
You're destroying everyone's illusions right now, BJ.
No.
I need to find this game tape. I need to know what season this was.
I thought it was one of the funniest. So I thought he was just kidding. So I was like, all right. So, but it was intriguing because, I didn't expect him to say that. So it was like at a free throw. I'll never forget. It was at a free throw line. Our player makes the free throw. I go pick up Rod full court. And Rod is like, he was like, "You ready?" So I didn't say anything. So he's like, "Okay, I'm going to dribble. And then you cut me off." And he's talking to me while I'm trying to defend him. And he's like, "Okay, cut me off. Okay, you ready?" And I would cut him off, and then he would go the other way. And I was actually playing, but the fact that he could dribble, call out the play that he was running for his team, and talk to me all at one time, it was the funniest thing. And as the game went on, he kept talking to me. He was like, "B, where you at, man? Let's make it look good for the film." And it was one of the funniest. Things.
I'm challenging our listeners to one of you guys listening to this has got to find the game.
It was funny.
What team was he playing for? Was he on the Knicks or was he on?
No, I think he was on the
Spurs.
I think he was on the
Blazers.
I think it might have been I think it might have been on the Portland Trailblazers at the time. I think it was in Portland.
Okay,
Portland
one
or
of
the
you guys got to
Wizards.
track down this game.
Well, it was just real. It was just
That's
funny.
hilarious.
It was like one of those things. I think what he was doing, because we still laugh about it when we see it from time to time, is that he knew that I was just trying to harass him. And I think that was his way of like lightening up the situation. But it was really, really funny. And so you never know what you're really looking at when you see the film. But it was funny. It was like one of those things I wanted to laugh during the game because I thought it was so funny. So when they say the film doesn't lie, yeah, it does. Because I remember that moment for us. And it was just it was one of those funny NBA moments that I had.
Well, speaking of watching film, BJ, have you seen the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix?
No,
I think you'll like it. It's a documentary. It's not made up film. It's a documentary about the Olympic team. It's pretty fun.
Okay. It's
pretty
a documentary told by the players who were there.
Well,
so
yeah,
I'm not going to, I'm not buying this.
Well, if you watch it, you'll figure out that they were pretty much rubbish, and then it's mainly about how Kobe came and taught them how to win. But you just got to go watch it. But anyway, Ryan Woodcock, listening to the show,
I was, you know what's sad about that? Well, I was there for a lot of that, and I watched it live
at the USA camp.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't need.
BJ, you already killed everyone's illusion of full court defense. Let's leave this one here. But anyway, let's stop killing people's illusions. Ryan Woodcock says that he recently watched this documentary on Netflix, and he said if the USA was to form an Olympic team now, what would be the best 1 through 5? And that brings me to something that Giannis said the other day that you sent to me. Giannis picked his international 5 to go up against the USA 5. He said Luka Doncic, Evan Fournier, Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid would go up against Steph, Clay.
Well, I have a problem with that list.
Evan Fournier.
Victor needs to be on that list.
We'll swap him for Fournier. I'm with that.
I don't care who's Victor.
Well, I'm not swapping Luka, Giannis, Jokic, or Embiid.
Well, Victor is one of the top 5 players.
Yeah.
In the world right now. Okay.
So the USA team that he selected, that Giannis selected, he said Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Bam Adebayo. He said we beat them. Who's going to guard Embiid, Adebayo? Okay, that makes sense. But then who's going to guard Jokic and who's going to guard me? So if you had to pick a starting 5 for Team USA, who is your starting 5 for Team USA if they were building an Olympic team now?
Okay, first of all, we say these things. And I really love the fact that Giannis said it, because you know what? Now that gives us something to play for. Now it's a competitive thing. Because you know what really bothers me right now watching the game? And I'm really saddened by it. It doesn't bother me. It just really makes me incredibly sad. I grew up in an era and I began to watch sports where we had rivalries. There was a rivalry. Name one today in the NBA.
Like they try and force this Warriors Grizzlies thing. I'm not having that. Celtics Lakers isn't a rivalry anymore because the Lakers are in the mud. I guess Laker fans versus me on Twitter might be the best rivalry that we're getting right now.
Okay. That makes me incredibly sad, because regardless of who you are in sports, you respect the Celtics and the Lakers when they played. You respected the Bulls and the Pistons. You could see these guys still to this day.
Isaiah been talking his talk.
All right. You respected. You respect that. You respected that. Like you go, okay, we don't like them, they don't like us, and we're gonna play. And you be like, you're not even a fan, but you respect the competition. You know what I do respect, though, Mo? Is if you had the USA, the best of the USA versus the best of
the world
players born outside of, now you saying
USA is getting cooked.
Okay. It's getting competition. Now, that I respect. So now I want this to happen. You know why I want it to happen? Because now we got to compete.
Well, USA is getting cooked. It don't matter. Give me your 5. Give me your 5.
But Mo, before we get cooked, let's lay the groundwork. Are we playing NBA rules? Are we playing FIBA rules?
You want to play NBA rules. You don't want to play FIBA rules with those big bodies.
If we play FIBA rules, that team USA has no chance, in my opinion. If you play FIBA rules with Luka and Giannis and Jokic,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm
Fournier,
getting
because
cooked.
Fournier is a different player in FIBA than he is in the NBA.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so my first question was, okay, I'm all about it.
Or we could even have
Is it a
Eurobasket Laurie Markkinen. Or Eurobasket Willie Hernangomez, who look like a superstar.
Your FIBA rules is a different rule.
Yes.
That's a different game.
Mhm.
Rudy Gobert in FIBA, give me Rudy Gobert.
Well, we're talking
in
about
FIBA.
FIBA rules because Ryan asked, who would you want from the USA to form an Olympic team?
now,
1 through 5.
Okay, if you're saying for FIBA, okay,
Yes.
Kevin Durant would be my 4-man
Okay.
for FIBA. Okay, if we're gonna play FIBA, Kevin Durant is my guy at 4. I'm building the team around Kevin Durant. Okay.
If we were playing FIBA, I just want to say, if this was a few years ago, it'd be Carmelo Anthony. Olympic Carmelo Anthony is a whole different beast.
Because we know in FIBA, you don't see undersized players. So there's 2 things you don't see in FIBA. You don't see the speed and quickness at the guard position, and you don't see undersized players. So Charles Barkley is another undersized player that dominated in FIBA. Because you guys don't have undersized players who are athletic at the 4. And you don't have speed at the guard position.
Mm-hmm.
So this, if you're saying who would I want? So now Kevin Garnett at the 4
Durant. I wish Kevin Garnett was still playing, but Kevin Durant.
Not Kevin Garnett. Kevin Durant. Sorry, Kevin Durant at the 4. That's my 4. That's why they got the golden. They just got the gold where in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to build a team around it now. I'm hoping Paul George is healthy. Why? Because I want speed and quickness.
Paul George at a 2.
I want players. I want Scotty Barnes. I want players.
You only get 5.
No. But you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're just literally taking. I want to build my team around players with that level of athleticism.
I get it. So guys like Tatum, Paul George,
Hey,
but what I'm saying is we have to narrow
Jason
down the
Tatum.
list.
Jason Tatum. I'm not sure for FIBA. I want him for the NBA. Why? Why do I say that? Because I'm going to ask Jason Tatum to play and do things as a role player in FIBA because he's not going to be a primary scorer with the Kevin Durant in the way we play. I'm not playing isolation basketball. That doesn't work in FIBA. Okay? Now, I didn't watch that Redeem Team video, but you know who was the guy who set the tone for that team?
Kobe.
Was the late Kobe Bryant. Why? Because he was the best defensive player. Think about that. He was the oldest out of all of them, and he was the one setting the tone. I remember because the rest of them didn't know how to play. Oh, by the way, they didn't get a gold medal in Greece. I wonder why. See, I'm too old to be sitting here watching things, trying to figure out, telling stories. FIBA is a different game. You don't play isolation basketball in FIBA. You have to defend. You have to play and run through screens. You have to defend and extend the game and make it at 94 feet. You have to figure out mismatches with the bigs so that they can't pack in the zone and goaltend and all those things. Kobe Bryant was the only one that was experienced enough to do it. I remember Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and all those guys. The only other guy I remember, there was Jason Kidd, if I remember correctly, on that team.
LeBron,
and Kobe,
Bosh,
Kobe
Melo,
was the best
Wade.
isolation scorer on the team. He was the best. But you know who played the role of figuring out how to get them to play a different brand of basketball? Was Kobe Bryant. So I understand that. Now I'm going to ask a younger Jason Tatum to understand that. How's that going to happen? This isn't about talent. This is about I need Scotty Barnes.
You
who can extend it. Absolutely. No doubt, because Scotty Barnes is Scottie Pippen. I need someone who's going to play 94 feet. I need someone who's going to pass the ball. I need someone who's going to rebound the ball. I need someone who's going to guard the other team's best players, regardless of position. I'm going to have to play small sometime. I'm going to have to play big sometime. I'm going to need players who can do all of those things. Now, Is there room on the team for Jason Tatum? Yeah, I do. But I know I'm going to need more of those Scotty Barnes type of players if I'm going to win this thing.
Okay.
So that's just what it is.
Who's your five?
I have no idea.
Because that's the whole question is pick a starting five.
I can't. There isn't a group.
You can.
No, I can't. I can't. Because the reason I can't is because I can't ask John Morant right now to play FIBA. He's never played international play.
Okay. So
okay, I got to see. I have to see what's available. I don't know what's available right now. Right now, there isn't five guys right now that just stand out to me to play. There isn't. NBA domestically, the game is it's really in a transition state because our best players now are all older. LeBron is older. Chris Paul is older.
Mm-hmm.
Melo and these guys who've had success internationally, he's not even in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is Giannis and those guys. They're the best players. Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Luka Doncic. They are the top. They're in the top 5, top 7 players in the world right now. We don't have that right now. With the exception of Kevin Durant, who else is there? I don't think Anthony Davis right now.
Anthony Davis ain't nowhere near it.
Is at one point he was,
mm-hmm.
But right now he's not.
Well, Ryan, I will answer your question for you.
Okay,
yeah, you can answer.
I can't.
If it's a one-off game to beat the team that Giannis has put out for international players, give me LeBron.
You're playing FIBA. You playing FIBA.
Yeah,
rules.
They'll figure it out. Give me LeBron and KD. No. Give me Kawhi. Give me Steph. And then maybe I'll take Bam at the 5. Maybe. They'll figure it out for one game. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win.
You can't win. You can't win in FIBA rules without extending the defense. You're not going to beat Luka Doncic, him being guarded by Steph Curry. That's not happening.
I'd have him guarded by Kawhi.
That's not happening. Steph Curry's got to guard somebody. Bam's not big enough to guard Jokic.
Steph Curry on Evan Fournier.
Bam is not big enough in international play to guard Jokic or Giannis, those guys.
America don't have any bigs. America don't have any bigs that I'm picking.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. This is a problem. You can come off the bench with Rudy Gobert. No one we have right now in America, I can think right off the top, that can guard. If they had Joel Embiid and Gobert as the centers, we're in trouble right now.
I mean, just tell Gobert
no one's guarding
the playoffs.
Joel Embiid. Who's guarding Joel Embiid right now? Bam. Is that who?
No one on earth.
So then you got Kevin Durant. So then you got Kevin Durant stuck with guarding Giannis.
I didn't say that they were going to win. I just said these are the 5 players I'd pick.
No.
I said from the very start they can't
match up right now.
I said from the very start they're getting cooked
right now.
They're getting cooked.
Just
put them in a walk.
Now, if you put it in an NBA game, all right. If you put it in an NBA game, all right. I can counter that. I can counter those things.
But I will say there's no way
players in isolations.
I'm picking Scottie Barnes over Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, who's having an MVP season, and Scottie Barnes, who we're talking about being a sophomore slump.
Mo, you're not listening to
I'm listening.
Darn word I'm saying.
We'll see listening. At the next Olympics. We'll see. We will see Jason Tatum take KD's role at the next Olympics. We'll revisit this in 4 years. Or 3 years now.
You can sit here and we can sit here and debate all these things. There's 2 things that work in international play. There's 2 things that work in international play. Undersized power forwards and speed and quickness.
And which of those doesn't fit Jason Tatum's build?
Okay, well, is he an undersized power forward?
He can play the 4. He's been playing the 4 all season long, putting together an MVP campaign.
Okay. All right, I'll say it again because you're not. See, this is the problem when you start talking basketball and then the other person is not listening.
No, I'm listening, but you're talking about what Scottie Barnes can project
undersized.
To be. No, we're not talking objectively about what we've seen from him this season so far.
See, Mo, this is the problem with why I struggle. I get it. I get what you're saying. Jason Tatum is right now playing the NBA game at an all-time high level. The game that works in international play are undersized players, meaning what is an undersized player? A player who's a big athletic body who utilizes strength and speed and quickness to play through the physicality of the game in Europe, because the game in Europe is a much more physical game than the game in America.
So is KD stronger than Jason Tatum?
Okay. KD is taller than him. They don't see 7-footers in Europe like KD at the 4. You don't see that. Okay. So why is KD so effective at the 4? Because he's a 7-footer. He has length, and you don't have size and quickness. You don't have speed over there at that position. You don't see Charles Barkley players coming out of Europe. You don't see Carmelo Anthony type players coming out of Europe.
You don't see Jason Tatum type players coming out of Europe.
Okay. Jason Tatum is a wing player. But the way the game is played over there, you play zone defense. You can play a zone and 1. You can take those players out of the game. You can take those players out of the game.
Let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this.
Tell me a wing player that's come from America.
Let me rephrase this then. At the next Olympics, I mean, Kevin Durant's not there. Who's playing the role that Kevin Durant played in Tokyo?
One of them, somebody's going to have to evolve.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be Jason Tatum.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm telling you, if that is Jason Tatum, they're not going to win the gold.
Only time is going to tell. We can go.
I'm telling you right now.
We will see.
I'm telling you right now, if Jason Tatum is the best player, and Jason Tatum is an MVP player, he may be MVP this year. I have no doubt about it. He's one of the top 10 players right now on the planet.
Top 5.
You have no doubt that you could say top 5. I will argue all day till I'm blue in the face. There's no way he's better. There's no way he's better than Giannis. There's no way the impact of Joel Embiid, Jokic, Luka, and those guys.
Name one more.
KD, no.
He's better than KD right now.
Okay, that's fine. You can argue that.
Not the idea of KD,
for me.
But right now he's better than KD.
For me, this is for me. I can argue with you. I don't have to agree with you. Okay. If I disagree with you, is that a crime? Is that
you can disagree with me like,
with you,
but I've been watching the game. Yes, and Tatum is playing better than KD.
Okay, that's fine.
I see Tatum lose by 50 to the Kings.
Okay, Tatum is losing, but we know that it takes a team, and his team is far superior than KD's team.
Yes,
far superior. Well, we can argue about that, but let's not argue about it. What I do know that works is the advantage. Speed and quickness is the essential quality the team has to have when you're talking about playing in international play. That's the essential quality. If I'm faster than you and I'm able to make this a 94-foot game, Europe doesn't play that way. That's just a fact. If I'm going to build a team to play, I'm not building a team based on, well, I got 7 guys. No, I need guys who can extend the game. Scottie Barnes is built for the international game, just like Scottie Pippen was built for the international game, just like Michael Jordan was built for. He's just built for basketball. But when you have those type of guys who can play and fly around and extend the game and switch and do all of those things, you want to have as many of those guys as you can, which gives you an advantage. A Bam Adebayo does not give you an advantage versus Jokic isn't sitting around in international game going, bam. No.
Just for my understanding, what is it about Scottie Barnes' game that's different to Tatum's game that gives him the advantage? Which skills in particular?
Because Scottie Barnes is a jack of all trades. He can play the point guard position and extend the game full court. That's not a knock against Jason Tatum. That's not Jason Tatum's game. Jason Tatum's game is that man can score with the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
That man's a beautiful scorer. That man's a walking bucket. That man is precision at its finest right now. Scottie Barnes can affect the game without scoring. I'm going to repeat that. Scotty Barnes can affect the game without scoring. Jason Tatum, yeah, he'll get you 40. He'll get you 50. Scotty Barnes can score 6 points and affect the game. In international play, you need those Draymond Green type players. Why? Mm-hmm. Because undersized players are most effective in international play. You don't see many of them. Well, is that why Draymond was on the team playing? Oh, okay, great. Okay, all right. I'm trying to win the game. You're just looking at stats and all that. No, I'm trying to put together a team to win the game.
Yes. And where the USA have won gold with Carmelo at that 4, Durant at that 4.
Undersized player.
Point is, Tatum is going to be there.
Tatum is not Carmelo, and Tatum is not KD.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll repeat that. Tatum is not Carmelo Anthony. He can't bang down there like Carmelo. That's a fact. Now, can they both have 20 points in the game? Absolutely. Carmelo Anthony can bang down there in that 4 position, and KD, they can't guard KD at the 4 position. Why? Because there isn't a 7-footer you have in the world that can guard him one-on-one.
Kevin Durant is listed at 5 centimeters taller than Jason Tatum.
Okay, what he's listed at? You're looking at stats. I'm looking at the game. Stats don't mean nothing to me.
I will look at the game. Where's the next Olympics?
Look at the game.
The next Olympics is 2024.
You can go. I bet you Scotty Barnes. Paris? If I'm building a team right now, I'm have. You know who else? You know who else I would have on the team?
Evan Mobley.
What's that kid? Mobley has to be on that team. The kid Herb Jones has to be on that team. I'm getting all like big athletic guys like Jaden Ivey. He's got to be on that team. Why? Because he's got size at that point guard position. You got to have 6'4", 6'5" athletes. I got to have athletes, and I'm going to extend the game for 94 feet. Because how am I going to beat Luka Doncic? I'm not going to beat him in the slow when the game gets at half court. Once he gets the ball over half court, advantage Luka. Advantage when the ball crosses half court playing against Luka Doncic, advantage Luka all day, every day. When the ball gets on the post to Jokic, advantage Jokic. When the ball gets in the post, Giannis, advantage Giannis. Now, Fournier, Luka, Jokic, and who's the other guy he put out there with him? Who's the other guy he put out there with Giannis? Embiid. The only advantage I have against those guys is to do what? Play 94 feet. Because if they get to half court, they have not just one advantage. Luka is a better half court player than any player right now in America. Giannis is a better half court player. Jokic is a better half court player. Embiid is a better half court player. That's a fact. The only advantage I have is to extend this game for 94 feet.
Okay.
And create havoc. Now, I'm trying to win. If you want to sit here and just look at stats and tell me, now, Jason Tatum,
I've not mentioned a single stat. Just to put that one out there.
If you telling me Jason Tatum is better in a half court than those 4 guys, you done lost your mind.
I'm going to ask you this. Game. In a half court, which of those guys aside from Giannis can guard him?
Guard who?
Tatum.
It's only
Luka
one of them.
Ain't guarding him.
Embiid
ain't guarding him. Jokic ain't guarding him. And Evan Fournier for sure ain't guarding him.
Okay, let me tell you something. Every coach, every player knows the difficulty of scoring in international play because I can play zone. This isn't America. This isn't the NBA. This isn't like you have a 2-second rule. This isn't, well, if you're well aware, you mean to tell me how this man gonna score when I don't have to go to the weak side. I can just stay on the strong side. And in the US, I got to go 1,001, 1,002, and then go to the weak side and then come back. There isn't any isolation basketball in FIBA. I'm just going to keep Jokic and Giannis them on the strong side. What he gonna jump over Embiid? He gonna jump over Giannis? What are you gonna do? Now I don't know what game you playing. I'm trying. I can goaltend. Ball hits the rim. I can tip it out. He ain't gonna just post me up. Where's all this spacing on the floor that you keep? Talk to me, Mo, from a basketball perspective. This is a different game. The only advantage I have in America is I'm going to utilize 94 feet to create havoc so that players from Europe don't play team basketball versus me, especially that group.
Okay.
That's what makes Victor, and you could have Victor coming off your bench. And he can play full court basketball. So I really don't even want to play full court because he is the best full court player in the world right now. Victor and Giannis
is the best full court player in the world.
Victor is he's 1B right now. Giannis he's the one who's
we ain't seen him try guard Giannis on a fast break.
Well, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you before it happened. I'm not waiting. See, I'm not going to wait 3 years from now and then jump on his. No, you got to tell me what you see before. Victor right now is the best player. You have 2 players right now. We got 3 players right now that could play the athletic game in international play. One for sure is this kid, Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is a beast in international play. He's a beast. Why? Because he doesn't have to move from the middle of the basket like he does in the NBA. He can just stay there. Ignore
France choking out of your basket.
Look at Rudy Gobert's stats. Rudy Gobert.
Oh, now you want to look at the stats, BJ?
No.
Y'all can look at the stats. Y'all can look at the stats.
Look at how effective he is in international play. Look at it. Okay, Rudy Gobert can play in an athletic game in international play. He may not be able to be as effective in an NBA game because you have isolation, screen roll, switching, defensive things, and all that. In international play, he's a monster on the defensive end. He can control the whole game. You have Giannis, superior athlete. And now you got this kid, Victor.
Yes.
Superior athlete. So Victor is a superior athlete.
Yes. I mean, now, what I will say is...
Now you can
outplayed by Willy Hernangomez in the EuroLeague final.
No one is arguing that those guys in Europe who know the FIBA game. We don't play the FIBA game. We don't play FIBA basketball. We don't have the experience of Gomez. Those guys go over and play in Europe. I remember there was a player that I had no idea he was this good until I saw him play in Europe, Louis Scola. I would watch him play in the NBA and I'd be like, oh, okay. And I'd go watch him play in Argentina and wherever he would play. And you'd be like, this guy was having he was giving everybody the business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's a different game.
Mm-hmm.
I
understand that.
Okay, if you understand that, then what? If you understand that, then let's move on.
But my thing is just you don't believe Jason Tatum can succeed at an international level, and I'm telling you that he can, and I've seen him do it in the Olympics.
Okay,
in the Tokyo team,
if that's what you believe, great.
That's what I've seen.
Okay, well, if that's what you've seen,
I've seen Tatum, who apparently has no advantage in FIBA. He's putting up 15 a game.
I saw Jason Tatum. If I remember correctly, I was in China. For some reason, I was at the game that Jason Tatum, I remember it was Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, and those guys lost.
When?
I can't. It was, look it up. Look it up.
2019.
Yeah, I remember. I was there, and I was like, those are good players. Those are great players. And I remember Rudy Gobert dominated. Rudy Gobert and Jokic dominated. And if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong on this one, but Rudy and them, France beat the Team USA. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, they didn't win.
If I remember correctly. I think Rudy Gobert was like MVP. I can't remember, but I remember watching and I was thinking, okay. And those are great players. But I know what wins in international play.
Yes. I also know Jason Tatum, age 20, compared to the Jason Tatum we see today, is a very different player.
Okay. And I know you didn't hear me say we don't have any experienced players to compete with that. You didn't hear one word when I said that. And I know you didn't. That's why this argument makes no sense. It's because we're just wasting time.
No, I heard every word you said.
Mo,
I heard every word you said.
Mo, move on.
No.
The listener is like, Mo, move on.
The listener is like, has BJ
now,
not been watching Jason Tatum play basketball?
The listener, I guarantee you, there isn't a listener right now. I'm watching NBA basketball. NBA basketball doesn't translate to FIBA basketball, which for some reason you can't comprehend.
No,
NBA basketball doesn't translate to FIBA basketball.
Jason Tatum was the second best player on the Olympic team in Tokyo where they played FIBA basketball. Who was the best player after KD on that Olympic team?
I didn't really watch. I didn't really.
There we go. There we go.
I didn't really watch. I didn't really watch. But tell me who the
Jason Tatum was the second best player. Jason, you can't tell me if you didn't watch the games.
So give me the roster.
And you're going to tell me when I say watch the game who was the best player.
I watched the medal rounds. I didn't watch every game.
Jason Tatum was the second best player on that team. No, and you can ask anyone who played on that team, and they said the same thing.
When I watched the game, I remember watching the game. There were players. There was a player from the Spurs. I don't even know if he's on the Spurs team
Keldon
right
Johnson.
Now. The guy was playing like key minutes and playing like key minutes in key situations. And I was like, who is this guy?
Yes. Greg Popovich coaching the team.
I was like, who is this guy? And I remember thinking, Damian Lillard couldn't make a shot. Who else? Give me the rosters. Give me the bam.
So you're gonna tell me who's the best player without watching the games?
No. When I say watch the game, it's like people will tell me they watched like I'll ask people, you watch the game, and they'll be like, yeah, I saw the highlights. Yeah, I watched it.
No, but BJ,
when you watch the game, you got to watch the game.
You know me.
Okay, when I say I didn't watch the game, which means I didn't watch every game from start to finish. I can tell you, give me the roster, and I'll tell you who I thought was the second best player or the third best player on the team. Who's on the roster? Give me
Durant, Tatum, Holiday, Lillard, Levine, Booker, Adebayo.
It was Holiday. Holiday was the second best player on the
Johnson,
team.
Grant.
Because they lost, and I'm gonna tell you, now I really remember, because I remember watching. They lost to Nigeria or somebody like that.
In a warm-up.
Yeah. They lost to Nigeria. And then they didn't start playing well until Drew Holiday got there. I remember because Drew Holiday had just got off a plane playing in the NBA Finals like a week earlier or something like that. He was the second best player on the team.
Okay.
Why? Because he was the only player. Because I remember Damian Lillard and those guys couldn't extend the defense. Yeah. No, I remember because I was like, Middleton. Drew Holiday was the only player they had that could extend the defense. So it was Drew Holiday, Draymond, Bam, KD, and then they would rotate between Middleton, Jason Tatum, and then the other guy was playing. I didn't even know who he was, and I'm sorry. And he played in the NBA. He had a couple games.
Keldon Johnson, he only got 5 minutes a game.
Yeah, Keldon Johnson. I know that, but he played well in some games because they had a problem. They had a problem defending and extending the defense. And Drew Holiday was the only player that they had as a guard who could extend the defense. Okay, there you go. Drew Holiday. I would argue Drew Holiday was the second most valuable player. I didn't say he was the best player. He was the most valuable player to that team.
Okay. Well, as someone who watched the games, Jason Tatum.
So what did you see, Bo?
Jason Tatum.
Because I saw them lose without Drew Holiday. I saw them lose without him.
Okay. This is what I've seen. Jason Tatum, by the time the next Olympics rolls around, is going to step up and fill the role of Kevin Durant on that team. I saw it. Okay. If you go back and watch it all, you'll see it. And in 2024 in Paris, we can go, BJ. We can go. And we will see.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going.
Okay.
I'm not going.
Okay.
I'm not going.
Anyway, that one question has taken up almost the entire episode, which was great fun.
Well, it should take up the.
I enjoyed it. We haven't done. You
know who would be a phenomenal player in FIBA is
Grant
the
Williams.
Kid Dort.
Lou Dort.
Dort would be a phenomenal player.
You're just listening good defenders.
because that's what you don't see. Strong athletic players. Like, I wish we could get Lou Dort just so we could match up against like Luka, because you can't just put a small body on him. So I'm trying to figure out how to win the game.
I'm intrigued to see the future of Canada's team, because they got Shai, they got Lou Dort,
Canada could be a problem. France could be a problem. France is the one that's got me into, because the big fella is going to change everything.
Victor
in the internet, he's going to change everything. But Canada, if Wiggins, Shea, RJ Barrett, all these guys, if they just play, they just have enough.
Jamal Murray,
and they just keep extending the game.
Benedict Mathurin, who's just still a rookie.
Right.
The legendary Kelly Olynyk of the Utah Jazz.
And if you keep extending the game like that, they have a real shot. They have enough athleticism now that I think they can medal. I think they could medal. I really think that Canada can medal. I think the USA, they should medal. But
Serbia, Slovenia,
France,
Greece with Giannis.
I think now it's up in the air. I don't think there's the way the game.
I'm going to tell you something that'll blow your mind. Joel Embiid is now a French citizen. He's eligible to play for France.
Okay.
Your 7-foot lineup might come true in FIBA.
I'm just telling you right now. I know what works in those international. You have to extend. You have to extend. Okay. And if you can play 94 feet,
I enjoyed this conversation. I need someone to send this to Jason Tatum so he doesn't let me down at the Olympics. That was great fun. Shout out to Ryan for sending in such a great question.
No, Jason Tatum. Listen, Jason Tatum is a star. Jason Tatum is going to have to. The player you saw, Michael Jordan, in the NBA, and the player you saw in the 92 Olympics, different player. I don't know how many players have that type of experience to really understand how to do that. I would hope, without watching the documentary, that Redeem Team, whatever one that I think we started this.
Yep, that's what the question would start with.
I would hope that you understand that, Mo. That someone has to set the tone. This is not the NBA, and we're not just going to show up because we have more talent and play in this game. Because let me tell you something. Those players aren't intimidated by NBA players.
Because they destroy them in the NBA every day of the week.
Well, I wouldn't say they destroy them.
But I would say Giannis and Luka and Jokic do, and Embiid. They ain't afraid of no one. Maybe 40 ain't Gobert's a different story, but
okay. There are four players. Okay, there are 4 players.
Pending a fifth.
All right.
Pending a fifth coming soon. But luckily for the USA, all these guys aren't going to play on the same team. So I guess we will never know the answer to that question. Unfortunately, we've not had time for all the other questions. We're going to have to do this again. That was really fun, though. I've got one more question here from Sue King. Shout out to Sue, always shows love. She says, what's going on at Sky? We need you back. Some real people in the studio talking and analyzing. We miss you guys. Listen, BJ and I, we both miss being in the studio as well. We want to be back in there as soon as we can, possibly be back in there. If you're missing us, tweet them. Let them know that you want to see us again. We're here. We're ready to work. So you let them know that Mo and BJ are ready to be back doing what we do best. But we appreciate each and every one of you for rocking with us. 200 episodes deep. Every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in every day, Monday to Friday. Thank you for sharing it with your friends. Thank you to everyone who left a review on the Apple Podcast Store. Helps us get up the charts. Thanks to everyone who left a rating. And just know, the next 200 is going to be even better than the last 200. BJ, you ready to get to 300?
Well, I'm ready now to just start talking about international basketball. I think that's my new theme, because you know what? It's fun to discuss it because you're talking about a different player.
Yes. Well, we're going to have
talking
more.
About a different player.
We're going to have more as the game continues to grow.
Because the international game, and that's what has impressed me so much about players coming that aren't American players or European players or foreign-born players. Their transition from Europe to America or the NBA game, to me, is one of the most amazing things.
Absolutely.
Because we don't grow up having to learn how to play, FIBA or by those rules until we get to 18, 19, 20 years old. And I'm just telling you, everything right now, all for me anyway, goes back to this kid, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him in FIBA, and then I watched him come over here and play NBA rules, and he was so good in the NBA rules that I'm really nervous for how good this kid could really be. Okay? Everything for me now is about Victor.
Well,
because I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait 3 years and jump on the wagon, 5 years. Listen, if I was an NBA player today, and I'm telling all of my clients, and I'm telling anybody who will listen, you better get prepared for what this young man's going to do. I don't think he's going to be good in this league. I think he's going to destroy it. Because athletically, size, shooting, hands, passing, and Mo, he's going to dominate the game of basketball for maybe a 15-year window. And that means he's going to win the Olympics. He's going to win NBA championships. He's going to win everything. He's going to dominate the game. And I'm not waiting to after he does it to say, see, I told you. No, tell me now. Before it happens.
We are all saying that now. I don't think there's anyone on earth who's disagreeing. We all see the talent.
You can see the talent, but explain to me, you got to explain to the listeners who don't have the time to see this young man. How good is he and why? And get them to understand this young man, when he gets to this NBA game where there's more space, okay? I would argue right now with not having an opportunity to play professionally in Europe, that the European game, the FIBA game, is harder now than the NBA game.
Yeah, Lucas said the same thing.
Okay.
When it comes to scoring, especially.
Why? Because defensively, you can load up. You can do different things. The only difference is they just don't have as good of athletes. You don't see Ja Morant over there. You don't see Zion over there. Zion would be a really good European player. I forgot about the big fella.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you don't see undersized players with that speed and athleticism.
Mm-hmm. He just needs to start moving his feet on defense again.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but he could fill that role of Carmelo, Charles Barkley. He would be now that gets me excited.
Mm-hmm.
Zion gets me excited. I think, you know what?
Well, BJ, you know what? Next time I see you, I'm going to have to teach you how to play 2K, because we can actually play these games in 2K and put these things together. So if you haven't got your copy, get it in the description.
You guys, you get it.
I have so much fun building different rosters, putting different players together, seeing how it works.
I get that. I need to get ready for Team USA. I got to get ready for Paris. Is that where's the
Paris 2024?
Oh yeah, so I got to get ready for that.
We'll link up. We'll hop on the Eurostar. We'll go there. I'm going to end it with this, BJ. It's not just the NBA court where international players are coming to dominate. International people are coming to dominate the media. Young superstar Mo Mutsi. If you want to help him on his journey, subscribe to this show right now and share it with your friends. Coached by none other than the legendary BJ Armstrong, who I might add. BJ, I appreciate you taking the time to do 200 of these episodes this year. It means a lot.
And we got 200 more coming.
Oh man, we got way more than 200 coming. You guys at home, we appreciate you as well. Make sure you stay locked in. 201 will be out on Monday. In the meantime, get buckets.